Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below which zombie outbreak you think would be the hardest to survive. Your support really helps the channel grow. And now, let's step into one of the most terrifying visions of the apocalypse ever put on film. 28 days later begins not with chaos, but with compassion taken too far. A group of animal rights activists storm a high-security laboratory, determined to free chimpanzees subjected to experimental testing. Inside, a lone scientist desperately pleads with them to stop. The chimps, he explains, are infected with something called the rage virus, a pathogen engineered from pure aggression. The warning is ignored. The moment a cage is opened, a chimp attacks, biting one of the activists. The infection spreads instantly. Within seconds, the victim becomes violently uncontrollable, consumed by blindly fury. There is no fever, no slow transformation, just rage. The virus spread through blood and saliva, moving faster than any government response. In less than a month, all of Great Britain collapses. 28 days later, a bicycle cleaner named Jim wakes up from a coma in a London hospital. He had been hit by a car before the outbreak, spared only by unconsciousness. Jim wanders through the silent city. Streets once packed with life are now empty. Shops are looted, newspapers litter the ground like forgotten mornings. London feels less abandoned and more like it's holding its breath. And that illusion shatters when Jim encounters the infected. They don't shuffle, they run. He barely escapes, saved by two hardened survivors named Selena and Mark. They teach him the new rules of the world, and exposure to infected blood or saliva means death within seconds. There is no treatment, there is no mercy. Jim convinces them to visit his childhood home. Inside, he finds his parents dead, choosing suicide over infection. As Jim lights a candle in mourning, the small flame becomes a beacon. The infected swarm the house. They escape, but Mark is bitten. Without hesitation, Selena kills him. No tears, no discussions. Survival now requires brutality. Jim is horrified, but he learns. Jim and Selena soon meet Frank and his daughter Hannah, survivors who still cling to humanity. Frank has heard a radio transmission promising safety and protection from the military. Together, they journey through the ruins of England, dodging infected and sharing moments of fragile normalcy. For the first time since the outbreak, Jim feels hope. That hope dies in a second. At an abandoned military checkpoint, a drop of infected blood falls into Frank's eyes. Soldiers arrive and executed him before he fully turns. The military takes Jim, Selena, and Hannah to a fortified mansion led by Major Henry West. At first, the compound seems salvation. There's food, warmth, security. But West soon reveals the truth. There is no cure. There is no future. His plan is to preserve moral by giving women as rewards for his soldiers. Jim and the sympathetic soldier named Farrell resist and are sentenced to death. Farrell is killed. Jim escapes. What follows is Jim's rebirth. Jim returns to the mansion like a predator. he releases a captive infected soldier, letting chaos tear through the compound. One by one, West's men fall. Jim kills savagely, not infected, but transformed by necessity. When Selena sees him soaked in blood, she fears he's turned, but he hasn't. He's just simply adapted. Major West shoots Jim, but is killed moments later by the infected. Jim survives, barely. And 28 days later, Jim recovers in a remote cottage with Selena and Hannah. When a plane passes overhead, they unfurl a massive banner. Hope flickers, but the story isn't over. A couple, Don and Alice, hide in a rural cottage with survivors. When a child seeks help, the infected are drawn in. As Alice is surrounded, Don makes a cowardly choice, abandoning his wife to save himself. That decision echoes through the entire sequel. 28 weeks later, the US military oversees a safe zone in London. Don reunites with his children, Tammy and Andy, lying about Alice's fate. The children sneak out to retrieve family photos and discover Alice is alive. She's infected, but symptomatic. She may be the cure. Don secretly visits Alice and kisses her, unknowingly infected himself. He murders her as the virus takes hold and becomes the epicenter of a second outbreak. The safe zone collapses. The military orders total extermination. Fire bombs fall. Survivors are slaughtered alongside the infected. A sniper named Doyle disobeys orders, helping Dr. Scarlet and the children escape. One by one, allies fall. Doyle sacrifices himself. Scarlet is killed. Andy is bitten, but doesn't turn. Tammy kills her father to save her brother. They escape London, but the final moments reveal the truth. It's 28 days later, the infection has reached Paris, and the world is ending. Again. 28 days later and 28 weeks later aren't just zombie movies. They're stories about fear, choice, and how thin the line between humanity and savagery really is. If you enjoyed this recap, please like, subscribe, and comment down below which scene disturbed you the most. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.